This is the second of a couple of videos made while on a little photo trip to Exmoor. This one we start in Exmoor itself in a place called Prayway Head. From there we move on to the second location, which is one of the higher areas in Exmoor, overlooking the coast going back towards Somerset. And finally we move on to a very scenic spot in Devon, Watermouth Bay. And while we're there, we'll look at the extended shutter speed facility offered by the GFX100S. Well, this morning, it's just before sunrise. I'm at a place called Prayway Head, which is in Exmoor, and there's a big long valley, and there's quite a nice tree that sits at the top of it. So I'll give you a look at the back of the camera in a couple of seconds. The wind's a bit too much though. It's making the branches on the tree wobble about a little bit, but we'll see. It's about half hour before sunrise. Don't look as though there's going to be a lot, but if I turn round, so this is Prayway Head. It's a valley in Exmoor, just outside Simmons Bath. This morning it's about half hour before sunrise. You can see that there's a little bit of red in the sky, but there's a bit too much wind. That tree is moving about. So it may or may not work. So let's just look at this composition. You've got the valley running off into the distance. There's a fence on the left hand side, which is a leading line running into it, and there's a tree on the left as well. Now it's fairly windy, so the tree's moving about a little bit. At the minute I've got a 0.9 hard grad on to try and bring the sky down a little bit, but it's not working out too bad. Take the image. Moving on now to a place called Dunkery Beacon. The sun's just popped up, it's just above the horizon, it's been there for about 10 minutes. And you normally get quite good images at this place because it's high up. I'm still on Exmoor, a very windy Exmoor, on Dunkery Beacon. The sun has just been up about half hour, I suppose, and there's some nice layers. It's chucking some layers onto the landscape where you can see back. I'll give you a little look at that now. So what you can see there, I'm looking into the sun, is the layers that the mist and the glare from the sun are forming on the hills as they roll across back towards central Somerset. So this is how I've got the camera set up to take this image. I've got a 0.3 soft grad, and I've got a Lee sunshade on, so that I don't get the glare for the sun into the lens, giving me lens flare. We'll have a quick look at the back of the camera. So just looking at the back of the camera, 80th of a second, f18, ISO 200, take the image. The wind really is rocking it about now. I'm going to call it a day and go and have a bit of breakfast. We're leaving Exmoor for a little while. We're just going to have a little trip across the border into Devon. There's some islands that sit out from the coast, and I think it's called Watermouth Bay. So I'm on my way there now. It's about a 20-mile drive. Hopefully the clouds clear up a little bit by the time we get there. I've arrived at Watermouth Bay, and it's a little bit of a hike now round the bay and up a hill that faces down towards these, well, I suppose you could call them islands. They're not really, they're extensions of the land. But we'll be on the way now. This is the first location I've come to, which looks pretty good. I'll give you a quick view of it. So there's the tripod, and there is Watermouth Bay with the harbour in the background. As you can see, we're at the first location at Watermouth Bay. As you can see, I've set up this composition with the islands stringing from the left to the right, and in the very right hand corner there is Watermouth Harbour. Now the sky is pretty good, there's some nice definition in the sky. The sea though is not that good, I don't really like it. So what I'm going to use is a Lee 10 stopper, a big stopper, and this will also allow me to show you one of the features of the GFX100S that's not included on most other cameras. So at the minute you'll see it's a 15th of a second. I'll put the big stopper in. Now on most cameras you can only go up to 30 seconds before you have to go into bulb. But what I'm going to do, you'll see, we can actually adjust the GFX100, if I turn it the right way, we can adjust the GFX100 to the actual exposure that we need, the shutter speed for the right exposure. So if you see there, 60 seconds. On a normal camera or on a Canon or a Nikon, you could only go up to 30 seconds and then you'd have to go to bulb. So if we push the button, and I'll show you the image now. I'm at the second location at Watermouth Bay, which is a bit higher up the cliff opposite the bay itself. Got the camera set up. Again, I'm using the 10 stopper because the sea, I still don't like it. The sky's got a little bit worse, but it's not too bad. But the image from up here is probably a little bit better because you get a better view, and you get a view across Devon and Exmoor along the coast. But I'll spin the camera around, it's a bit windy. I'll spin the camera around so you can get a view of it yourself. So there's Watermouth Bay there, and as you move along the coast, you've got Combe Martin, which is in Devon, and then the cliffs further on are Woody Bay, Lynmouth, etc., which are in Exmoor itself. So, nice image though. I'll show it to you now. I was just walking back to the car park at Watermouth Bay when I come across these animals. Sheep with long necks. Have a look. Funny looking ones. Well, I'll leave them here.